amazing guest in the studio. But before I introduce her, you know my name. My name is Olabisi Ayetibo, and I'm bringing Flourishing Minds and Families to you always to ensure that we live godly, fulfilling lives across all our days. So today I have an amazing guest, Sister Tamu Odunaike. I know you know her, yes, all the way back from Mount Zion. She's an actress, an amazing gospel actress. She's also a quality education officer. No, I'll say that again. She's an education quality assurance officer. Yes, I got it. Right here in the UK. So she's all about representing God in a perfect way. She has nothing less than quality for the Lord. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy her today. So please make sure you subscribe, you share, as I proudly and humbly welcome my lovely sister, Sister Tamu Odunaike. Thank you for joining us on this podcast. Woo!
Thanks for having me, Sister Obviously, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you.
It's great, it's great. So it's Sister Tamu, I call her Sister Temi. Is that not amazing?
Temi is fine, thank you.
Sister Temi is going to be telling us a lot today. So please, Sister Temi, in your own way, just who are you, Sister Temi? I know I said a little bit. What I said is just a little of who she is. She's got a YouTube handle, YouTube channel where she describes and distributes a lot of content. So you're gonna hear a lot. So please tell us, who are you, Sister Temi?
Thank you. Okay. I'll start from career and then we can talk about other things.
Okay.
So career-wise, I'm an education quality assurance officer. I work for the Health and Care Professions Council, which is the regulator for professions that are supplementary to medicine. I'm sure so many people hear about NMC, they're the regulator for nurses and midwives, and then the GMC is the General Medical Council. But we regulate like 15 other professions like speech and language therapy, speech and language therapies, physiotherapies, practitioner psychologists, and so many of them, dietitians and all that. So, and my role is to ensure, so first of all, my role is to approve the programs that lead to registration with us in order to become one of those professionals, and also to ensure that those programs continue to meet our standards, our regulatory standards. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis in a nutshell. Now, as you said, a child of God, yes, that is my number one role, yeah. So I'm a child of God. I am an actor. I love acting with a passion. I'm so passionate about acting for God, of course, and I love to talk as well, which is probably why I'm here. I love to share with people from the little knowledge I have about things, what I found in the Word of God, in the Scriptures, with the help of the drama side of things as well. I'm able to bring that, present that in a way that different people can relate to it. So whether you are older people, younger people, different people, different walks of life. So just presenting that in a way that everybody can benefit from it. So yeah, that's me.
Amazing. Look at that. I told you that she's a well-rounded woman. She's a mom, a mother, a wife, like she said, an officer that ensure the quality and the standards of the program that leads to all those 15 professions. They have standard that they have to. And that's an amazing work that you are doing. Well done.
Thank you.
God bless you. We don't want to have anyhow nurses. We don't have to have anyhow doctors. We don't want to have anyhow language therapists. But we want to have a solid one. We are representing quality to the world. God bless. And this is what my passion is all about, that wherever we find ourselves, that we bring out the quality, not just the quality, the excellence of God in it. And thank you for representing the body of Christ wherever you are working. Thank you. So today, Sister Temi is going to do justice to a lot of questions. You know the title. This episode, this podcast is talking about integrity and professionalism. You know, when we were talking about it and preparing for it, I was like, the way she was talking with passion, I was like, okay, she's got to come to the studio. Let's see what it is. You know, a lot of people, we go to work, a lot of people do anything, and we still say we are a child of God. And I know you know, it really grieves your heart when we don't display the excellency of Christ. So please, what is integrity? As an actor, as an actress, as an officer, yourself, and as a child of God, what is professionalism and what is integrity from your perspective?
Thank you, Stabisi. So we'll look at them separately.
Okay.
Integrity, I got a dictionary meaning for integrity, and that's the quality of being honest and showing a consistent, there's keywords there that I marked. So being honest and showing a consistent and uncompromising adherence to strong moral and ethical principles and values. I'll take that again. So integrity is the quality of being honest and showing a consistent and uncompromising adherence to strong moral and ethical principles and values. Now, for me, as a child of God, I decided to add this to it. So it just talks about ethical principles and values, right? I added and biblical values as well, because as Christians,
That's
where
right.
do we get our principles from?
Yes.
They come from the Word of God, isn't it? So we can't rule that out. So that's all included. So basically, in a nutshell, integrity is, you know, a person with integrity is someone who is truthful and can be trusted. So, and you know, you build trust over a period of time, isn't it? You can be trusted. People, you are reliable. They can commit things into your hand and be sure that you will do what, you know, you are a man or woman of your words, basically. And for me, I see that you know, this thing called integrity, as it can relate to all aspects of life. So it's not just about career. Thank God that, you know, it's something very key in our career, but actually as a family as well. I mean, before we even come to the point of building a family, a young man and a young lady, if you continue lying and the young lady, she's not going to marry you. Yeah, and then, you know, because we're talking about flourishing family, right?
Yes.
As a family as well, you have children. And I'm not talking from an angle of someone that is perfect here, right? We are going to be learning from each other. I am on a journey as well. But one thing I've learned from my children is that children especially, they want you to mean what you say and say what you mean. So they take your word as you say it.
Integrity.
So I realized that I think sometimes, you know, you say, okay, we'll go to the park tomorrow. I'll take you to the park. And then tomorrow comes and then you don't take them to the park. And then maybe they spare you that one time, and then the next week again you say, okay, do you know what, tomorrow I'll take you to the park. And then you come up with that you're tired or you want an excuse. They will not trust you. Next time, and this is what my children, the next time you say that, they won't hold it with a pinch of salt. They won't take you serious because, you know, you said it last week, you didn't do it. 2 weeks before you did the same thing. So that is it. And before we know it, we are already forming something in the minds of those children, whether adults. People are already taking you for, they can form in their mind your identity, and maybe that's not who you are. But unfortunately, because you can't, you know, number one, you're not being honest, and you've not been honest over a period of time. Consistently, you've been dishonest, and you've just that's it. So basically, that's integrity.
That's integrity. You did a lot of definition, explanation, a lot of digging into integrity. Then what about professionalism?
Okay.
You know, this is about, especially this is our workspace.
Yeah.
Because as a child of God, we still have to work for God, but then we still have an outside secular job or business that we do. Then what is professionalism?
Yeah. Not
Not just professionalism, but professionalism in the context of God's representation as we are, as a child of God. What does it look like, or what should we expect in terms of professionalism from a child of God perspective?
Yeah. Again, I'm going to start with a simple definition, and I've got here that it's the competence or skill that is expected of a professional. Very simple.
Competence or skill.
Competence or skill
that is expected
of a professional. And you know, when you're applying for a job, you see what we call job description, right? So there are, you see some essential skills. So some they will say, okay, this is essential. You need the skill to be able to do this job. And there are some that are desirable. So they would love you to have those skills, but you may, even if you don't have them, you can probably learn on each other. They can still, take you. But basically, it's about those competencies, those skills that you come with. As a professional, that make you a professional, and that's it, just as a career. But one thing I've realized is that, talking about integrity and professionalism, you can't rule out the hand of God. I thought that when I was preparing for this, I thought I was going to, because sometimes, especially as Christians or as just as people, we might focus on the fact that, oh yeah, I have to be professional, I have to have integrity. Those are good, but I don't want us to forget that there is a place for God's favor as well.
Oh, yeah.
And to be able to, looking at that, I looked at the story of Daniel and the story of Esther. Now, Daniel chapter 1, if it's okay to just mention that. Yeah. Daniel chapter 1 described Daniel and his friends, right? It talks about the skills. There were people that had those skills, and they came, they were qualified for the job that, based on those skills. But I noticed in Daniel chapter 1 verse 9, Bible says that God has brought Daniel into the favor and goodwill of the eunuchs. So it was this qualification or professionalism, integrity, and all of that, so to speak, that brought him there. But there's something that distincted Daniel. He had that, which is the favor of God. And exactly the same thing happened to Esther. So Esther, Mordecai, his uncle, had prepared her for the palace. So she had gone through all the preparation, gathering the skills and all that. But Esther chapter 2 verse 9 makes us to realize that she pleased Haggai, and then I think in verse 17 she actually had the favor of God upon her as well. So I just thought I'll add that as a caveat that despite all our professionalism and everything, there is also still a place for
the element of God cannot be
God's
taken
favor.
away.
Yeah, that is what after all you've done, and you've done every of your parts, there's something that will make you stand out,
which is God's favor.
That's God's favor.
So it's what you were saying to I told you she's loaded, well-rounded. Look, you're balancing Sister Tamu, our own side of preparation. Absolutely. And then the element of God comes into it. So one does not overweigh another, both sort of complement one another. You do your bit, then the hand of God comes. The hand of God can be upon you, but if you don't do your bit, your integrity is not intact, your professionalism is not, what you know or what you should know in your job is not there. The hand of God can be there, but it won't be able to. So
actually, that is it. If there is nothing for him to breathe upon,
that's the word, breathe. When God breathes upon what we've got. Yeah. Whoa, that's good. Thank you very much for doing justice to that. So question number 2 that we've got for you, Sister Tamu, is how can, I think you're already gone into it a little bit, you're diving into it. How can we foster professionalism at work as a child of God, as God representatives? How can we foster, this quality of professionalism at our workspace, in our businesses, as a child of God? When they see you, say, oh, I know that guy, he's got this. How then can we foster it? How can people just grow as we, the thing that you were enjoying, let's just use you as an example. That's why we brought you here. The same thing that you were enjoying, how have you been able to foster it? How are you growing in your workspace? Please tell us.
Thank you. You said something there that's, when people see you, that they see that you're doing well, you're growing and all that. And that's one key thing I noticed when it comes to professionalism. People may not really like you because you are very good at your job, but they will respect you. So they will respect you. I don't think I've met someone before that would not like someone that is professional. They may, even if they don't like you, they will want to work for you. Absolutely. They will want you to be, to be in their team because you take your job very seriously. You are reliable. There are actually 3 core values that I noted here. Is reliability, consistency, and honesty. So for me personally, there are a few things I'm going to mention that has helped me. These are basic things. They're not really they're not spiritual things. They're just basic principles, but I can tell you that they work. So you're joining a company. You're starting in a new company, for example. There are policies and rules. Every organization, even a church, every organization has its own policies and rules.
Yes.
You're not coming there to come and change, even though you have the mindset that you want to introduce a change. Maybe you've studied that, okay, they're not doing this thing very well, but at least calm down and follow the rules and before you try to make all the change, all the exactly. Follow those principles. Follow those principles were set for a reason. Those rules were set for a reason before you got there. So be someone that is also willing to learn, right? Then when they see that you're not trying, nobody wants someone that will come and say, okay, whatever you've been doing before is rubbish. I'm here now. I'm going to. No, nobody wants that. You should be genuinely interested in those rules, those existing policies. The second thing I've got here is that your appearance and words and deeds go a long way. Your appearance. I work from home like 99%. I only go to the office one day. But you can ask any of my colleagues. I don't dress like I work from home. I'm just so used to. I mean, this might not be for everybody, but this is me. I still have that appearance as if I'm going into the office.
You're still showing.
I have meetings. I meet with external people. I still want to have that beautiful appearance, to be able to speak well. Also, what I realize is that maybe, as I said, this might not be for everybody, but for me, it brings me into that work mode as well. And it helps me when I'm talking, when I'm chairing meetings, and when I'm doing things. I have that, it's just, I'm already in that flow already, rather than...
I think it will help with your confidence.
Absolutely,
as well,
you're right.
If you dress up for the meeting, for the day, whatever, it's coming to my table,
you're ready to deal with it. Exactly.
Absolutely.
So appearance, your words, your deeds, they go a long way. The other thing is to treat others with courtesy and respect. So listen to people, don't judge people. Sometimes we are so quick to judge. And these are, I tell you, they may look like, what has this got to do with professionalism? But it's all part of it. When you give people, you notice leaders, good leaders are the ones that are able to listen and follow. They actually learn. If you want to know a true leader will sit down with you and listen to what you've got to say. Not the one that will come with all the instructions and all the bossing they will listen, because they actually learn from you as well. There's something that they're doing in my office. They call it reverse mentoring, where the executives get paired up with people, the other colleagues in lower roles, and they learn from each other. So while those in the other roles are learning from the executives, the directors, the directors are equally learning from them. And everybody thought that was a fantastic thing to do. It was really good. So it's called reverse mentoring.
Amazing. Did you hear that? Reverse mentoring.
It was really good. Treat others with courtesy. Treat them. Don't think that because you are the director and this person is you've got nothing to learn from them. No. As a professional, you will treat others as you want to be treated as well. There's a bit here. There's something here also about avoiding office politics and gossips. I know that is, but
you hear this next point: avoiding office politics and gossips. Dive into it.
People form opinions about us based on what they see us do. So someone will bring to you, if you have been doing that, next time they will bring it to you. And before you know it, you will get so much into it that can lead you into trouble. As a professional, you can avoid it. I'm not saying don't have banter with your colleagues and all that, but there are, you will know where to stop. You will know where you don't have to. There has to be boundaries at work. Work is work, and you could have your social life where you can maybe have some other things like that, but at work keep it to a minimum. Avoid it as much as possible. Then understand the company's culture as well. Now culture, I could have mixed this up with policies and rules, but they're different. There's a culture, so the cultures are not written in black and white, so to speak. They're just things that people pick up as part of an organization. So understand it. Okay, this is how we do it here, and just do it. Even if you don't, 100% agree with it, don't come with a mindset of you want to scatter it. You will be able to change that culture.
Of course,
yeah,
of course.
Especially
You'll be able to influence.
As children of God, we are light. Remember.
That's right.
So if there's something, if you carry light, you will be able to shine that light wherever you are, and they will see. At least they will know you for who you are. So they will respect you for that, but don't let it be so evident that you are coming to just change everything.
You guys are not doing it right. I'm here to change everything. No.
Exactly. And I think finally I would say be a responsible employer, and also demonstrate a professional attitude. And simple ways you can do that. Just take your work seriously. Stay fit for your work, be reliable, embrace feedback, show commitment and personal development, and communicate professionally. I think we're going to talk about communication.
We have to.
Yeah, but yeah, those little things. Embrace feedback. Yeah, some people they don't like it when people tell them. There's a way you can give feedback constructively. You can learn it actually. If you don't know how to give constructive feedback, you can read up about that. It's really important because feedback helps us. Feedback helps you, and it helps the person you're giving the feedback to as well. So embrace it. Show commitment to personal development. Nobody wants, as a professional, people want to see that you're actually keen to develop yourself as well. You're not someone that just wants to be in that same position forever. And all of that.
I'm going to pick up on the feedback bit. Because I think it's going to help with the next question, but you know about it, communication. But in as much as I've worked in different offices, different workspace, moved around, the key of feedback sometimes can be detrimental if it's not done right.
Right, absolutely, you're right.
Not just for the person that is receiving it, but also from the person that is giving it. It can damage a relationship.
It's true.
It can cause chaos.
That is why I said learning.
Learn.
Don't think that you know it. There's a way to do it, and you have to do it
You
right.
have to.
Because if you don't do it right, it can make things worse.
Oh yes. And I've seen feedback that's gone wrong. As in, the relationship that I think was going on well, these two colleagues were good, but then someone was a lower rank and it's a supervisor or something like that, and the feedback at that point ruined everything. Just because someone, I don't know how it works, but then as a child of God, if you were given a feedback that you don't feel convinced that it's you, or you feel that they just picking on you unnecessarily, how then do you handle it? Because you're a quality assurance officer. As much as you want to grow, I'm sure you've come across a lot of sectors saying, no, what you said to us is not how we're going to do it, we know how to do it better, but they become challenging for you. It becomes too much. How do you handle feedback that's been given to you, that it's not a total representative of you, you know that is not you, but at the same time, you have to manage the relationship without causing chaos?
That's a very important question, Stebisi. I mean, feedback can be in both ways. So now I think we're talking about the person receiving the feedback.
Yes, as a child of God, taking it total true as okay, I'm going to change. This is, but you know that a little bit. Say you pick. I don't like that one that they're picking on me, or and sometimes they can actually pick on you as well. But how do you handle that?
It does happen
without causing chaos.
Right. Any feedback you get, I think you need to acknowledge the feedback first of all.
Good.
So I would say acknowledge the feedback. Now, if what the person is saying is, I feel in most cases there will be an element of truth there. It may not. So part of it will be maybe exaggeration, and part of it
is what's going on.
Now you have the mind of God. You have you're an adult. You can, separate things.
Yes.
the good things, and that is something I've learned even coming into this country. That people will say bad things, but there are good things that you can actually pick and out of it. Yeah. So pick the good ones out of it. The ones that you know that that's not you. I mean, do an assessment. Be sure yourself. Be critical about it as well, because sometimes we think that no, that's not true, and if you go further, you might say, okay, there's a bit of
maybe not just like you say,
integrity. Yeah,
be open
to yourself. I mean, it's yourself you're dealing with now, right? But when you are absolutely sure that this is not who you are, you can discard that feedback. I won't let it get to me. If it gets to you and you need a way to deal with that, speak to someone else. That person may have, you can talk to the person. I think the first option will be to actually go back to the person that gave you the feedback, because to them they might not even have realized that
this is how you feel about it. Written,
so if your colleagues, even if he's your manager, or I think you should be able to have that relationship that you can go back to them. Now, if that goes wrong, that is why everybody will always have someone else that you can talk to about it. That person sharing it with someone that sometimes obviously you need to know who you're sharing it with as well. Sometimes it could make matters worse. Sometimes, yeah. So, but I mean, if you're talking about work environments now, you'd have studied people to an extent. It's very unlikely that this is your first time that you're having this sort of feedback. Yeah. So you'd have been able to know different personalities and who to speak to about different things, how people react to things and all that. But yeah, there are hierarchies in the workplace for a reason. You can escalate things if he's getting to you. If that person, if your boss's boss, is behaving so, he's not taking it. You can exactly. If the director, you can take it to HR. If there's, there will always be.
We have regulatory bodies like this. There is always a pathway to make your mind known. Because we are dealing with feedback, just like you said, you must be critical first. Be open-minded. They're saying you come late, or I don't come late. I always give reasons why I'm coming late. The question is, why are you actually coming late in the first place?
Deal with that.
Can we actually deal with it because sometimes we take personal life into work, and you expect workplace to understand. They should understand, but they are not bound to understand.
And then when remember we talked about consistency.
Yeah.
Maybe they will give you first time, second time, and all that. When it's becoming a habit.
A habit, yes.
Nobody wants to.
They want to give you feedback.
Exactly. They will. And to be honest, giving you a feedback, it should take feedback. Have that open.
Open-minded.
Be open-minded to feedback in the first place. Don't be so closed up that the moment someone says they want to give you a feedback, the next thing you're already like exactly. At least hear them first, and then if you are sure and we're sure that this is not who I am, then you can take it further. And but yeah, the things in many cases, if you can address the ones that we know that we need to address, sort out the other things. Yeah.
And it's like I said, it's both ways, because it can damage confidence if it's negative and they don't have anyone to take it to. But like you've explained, take it off.
Talk to someone. Don't keep it to yourself. No. Talk to someone about it.
Know the process of work. Read your contract. Know what you need to do and who you can speak to. I think that would really help. Thank you. And I think, like I said, it's bringing on to the next one. It says, how do we deal with inclusion and diversity at work as a child of God to be a voice?
So for me, as an adult, you're going into a workplace, don't go with second-class mentality. Know who you are in Christ. I'm talking very specifically as believers now.
For adults.
You have an added advantage. I tell you, however you see it, you have an added advantage that as a child of God, you know who you are. You are the light of the world. You are the salt. There is not a. In fact, when I was reading that, I saw that it says you are the light. You are the salt. There's a difference between a and the. It's definite. That is who you are. That means when you get to that workplace, you are the one to you shine the light there. I'm the light. I am the salt. I'm the city set on a hill that
cannot be hidden.
So at least have that mindset. Now, when things that come about, and you think that, okay, we were talking about feedback earlier and inclusion. what you have in, see, you won't, there's things that you won't need to make noise. So what you have in you, it will speak for you. My pastor was speaking with a group of youth a couple of Sundays ago, and he talked about when he was in another branch of the church, that there was this lady came with in our workplace. They were given this assignments to, I think she's a programmer or something like that, and they were meant to just get to the bottom of, find a solution to something. So they had this challenge, and everybody was tasked to find a way out.
Of course.
And there was a reward. I mean, not small reward. The leader said that for anybody that finds that is able to get that solution, because it's something that they were going to make a huge profit from anyway. £250,000 as a reward. Now, this lady is a Christian. She maybe she was the only Christian there, I don't know, or maybe but she took that matter. I mean, it's not small money we're talking about. She took it to her pastor. She took it to God, because she sees that she has that advantage.
I have an added advantage.
As a child of God, she found it. And going back to that story of Daniel, that was exactly what Daniel did, wasn't it? He told his friends to pray, and God revealed the secret in the night. I mean, you know, we can talk about it. It may not always be like that, but in this case, she got that, and they gave her that money. Now, it did, whether inclusion or no inclusion, diversity or not, the solution she found spoke for her.
She brought the answer.
And she got it. They can't now come back and say, "Oh, because no." It's not.
Just like you said before, integrity, professionalism. What has been committed into your hands? What are you doing with it? How are you bringing about solutions? How are you bringing about suggestions?
Gone are the days where all you hear is about there's racism, there's this, there's that. People know stuff. People recognize when you are stuff.
They recognize what's good.
When you have the stuff,
they do.
They will give you the role. They will when you are bringing solution, when you are making impact, when you are making a difference. I'm telling you, everybody likes what is good. So they won't just push you away.
No. It's about the light that you carry and how you personalize and internalize what you carry. The question I think we should ask ourselves: do you know who you are?
Exactly.
Do you know what you carry?
That is the mindset we're talking about.
We're not saying, like you said, we're not saying you're not going to learn on the job. We're not saying, desirable skills, you absolutely have to have this. But even in that desirable, when you get there, what are you doing with, pruning yourself? With fashioning yourself? You know what? This is director. You must have learned this ABC.
Absolutely.
I'm going to learn it. I'm going to do the certification. Some people have seen the same certificate that they had 10 years ago is still what they're having tonight. And we are praying. And we are professionals. And we are
How do you expect that to? You're not doing anything. Getting certifications is that, and I think we'll get to this as well, that is great. You can do, programs, maybe 1 year, 2 year programs, but there are short courses as well, or there are short skills that you can actually learn as well. A lot that you can learn to add value to yourself. There will always be those essential skills, and that you have to meet. If you don't meet those skills, you can't be considered, unfortunately.
No.
So going back to the question, for me, it's about having the right mindset. Talking about inclusion, start from there, that you are not a second-class citizen. You are who God says you are. You are the light.
I am no less. I am not second-rated.
You are not.
I am not
beneath. And wherever you go, it doesn't matter where it is. In fact, if you go to a place and you are the only one different, it makes it even good, because the moment you start shining, they will notice, that's the only person that is, you don't know her, she's the dish. So it's even good for you.
Describe me very well.
But make sure that you have,
you know your money on. You know what you were saying.
Because if it's the other way around as well, it will be easy.
Louder. It will be louder. And honestly, and I think as children of God, finding ourselves in a very competitive world, especially business and workspace, it's quite competitive.
It is.
And we're not talking just about Christians. We're talking about other religions that have good values as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
But what Christ made us to understand, we are the light.
It is. No.
So, like you said, we have an added advantage. The question is, what are you doing with your added advantage? What do you bring to the table? How do you see yourself?
Yeah.
And I think, from what Temi has been saying to us, and I'm sure this is going to help a lot of people, a lot of families, because she's not talking to individuals, she's talking to everyone, older generation, younger generation. She's taught so much based on that. Please, let's look inwardly about ourselves. Who am I? First, define yourself with the Lord. If you don't know the Lord, sit down with the Lord. I want to know myself. Review who I am. Because it will be detrimental if you don't know yourself. Yeah. If God has not even said, this is who you are. This is where some places of work, I know when I'm getting out. It's exactly that clear.
Yeah. You know that this is my assignment here. This is what I want to achieve here.
Once I'm done, I'll tell my husband, I'm moving on. I can do. Last year, I think I did about 3 interviews, and some people are still. I said, I think I've learned what because I'm aware. I'm at the stage where I'm consolidating my career. So I'm said I've learned in that
what
place.
I need to learn there already.
I need to move. And if you don't know who you are, when do you know when your time is up, or when you need to speak, or when you need to hold on, or when you need to pause, or when you say, what, I'm going to go and do that research, I'm going to give it to them. It's not about the money, but about me adding value.
Yeah.
Because I am carrying an added advantage, and I must show the light. Thank you, Sister Tamu. This is so wonderful. This is so great. And I'm sure we've been blessed. This has been a wonderful podcast this week. Sister Tamu is going to come back, and she's going to bless us again. I don't want to reveal the secret. I don't want to tell you. But she is going to be the personal mentor that you need for 2024, for your career, for your prayer life. So please make sure you stay glued and subscribe to our YouTube page. It's going to be a place that she will come every day, every week, because she will, give you the mind of God that will help you in your career, in your personal life, in your prayer life as well. She's a woman of prayer. And I'm so, so glad, Sister Tamu. Thank you so much for all that you have said today. And I know you're coming back to the studio to give us more and more and more.
It will be my pleasure.
Last word. I'm sure you have a lot in your mind, and I'm going to be putting all our social media handles at the description bottom. So please follow her. Stay glued. She's going to be the mentor, like I said, that you need, and she's going to give us something special. What do you have for God's people, for everyone across the audience? What is that thing on integrity and professionalism that you would like to drop, that you've not said or I've not asked you about, that you would like to say to your audience, please?
Yes, thank you, Stebisi. Final words is that, in life, you can have the scripts written, and you, as I said earlier, you put everything that you need to do. You're being professional. You're a man or woman of integrity, and things still do not go your way despite all of that. But there is always a report. Hebrews, I think it's chapter 11, verse 2, that talks about, by faith that the elders obtained a good report. Now, that report may not be speaking right now, but you don't worry.
It will.
Let it continue to gather that report. That report will speak.
Yeah.
That report will speak here on earth one day, and it will also speak in eternity.
That's right.
So don't get tired of, because sometimes, some people are like, oh, I used to be like that. I used to be very diligent, very decent. I didn't get anything out of it. Exactly. No, don't be like that. There's a report. The Bible says the elders obtained a good report. If you look at all that hall of fame, those people that were listed there, it looks like they didn't get it. Some of them were killed. Some were beheaded and all that. But there's a report that we are still reading and that we are reading about them today, and they are seated in heaven. So as a child of God, if everything else fails, let
God be God.
Let God be God, and let your integrity and professionalism be intact for that report.
It will speak. Wow, amazing. And just like you, when we started this anchor scripture, actually for this episode, I'm just going to read it out. That is so profound, because I hope it says, Proverbs chapter 22 verse 29 says, do you see someone skilled in their work? They will serve before king. They will not serve before officials or of low rankings. That is profound. And I think that's the summary of what Sister Tamu has been speaking. You don't stand before mere men, before ordinary people. You rub shoulders with kings, with, policymakers, like Sister Tamu. People that know their honors and their stuff, and they're going about their business. And I know that you and I, we are not meant for the low places, but we are meant for the high places. And I see you shining. Please give us a feedback and a comment if this has blessed you. Thank you, Sister Tamu, for joining us this week. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.